Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. I'm recapping with Love Meghan, Season 2, Episode 3. And dare I say, it was the least painful episode. I gotta be honest with you. Now, I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery and know that Meghan still manages to run it. But Tan was very likable, and I want to talk about it. And I want to talk about Meghan's dancing around England, and I want to talk about another very old idea that she's dusting off and trying to make her own. So lots to talk about in this one. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments, as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos, and I sincerely appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, I do have my second channel called Goose Adventures, where I'm detailing how I lost 140 pounds. I did it drug-free and surgery-free, and I'm talking through exactly what I did and how I did it over there. So check that out if you're interested. But in the meantime, let's get into this episode. Can I say a huge thank you for your lovely comments and support in my recap so far? I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying them. And I'm having a lot of fun just talking back and forth with you guys and playing our bingo games and stuff. The show itself has been pretty painful. I will say, and I'm here to tell the truth. If something's good, I'm going to tell you. If something's bad, I'm going to tell you. I didn't hate this episode. I really didn't. I found Meghan insufferable. We'll get to that. But Tan was very likable. So in case you didn't know, Tan France was on this episode. I have a little bit about him. I'm pulling right here. Let's see. So this episode was called Easy as Pie, and it's Tan France. He's from Queer Eye, the reboot. And so she had him over and greets him with a fruit platter with a lavender gray latte. And they start, it's all about Tan and his life. And so he's married, and his husband, I guess, makes bread I think he said every day. They have fresh bread, so that's kind of a part of their household tradition. And they have 2 little boys. And so, of course, Meghan had to make it about herself. And she goes into, I make hot breakfast every day too for my little ones. And she didn't call him Harry. She said, my husband. So that's a step up. Last time it was just H. Now he's her husband. She does go into something about him, which we'll get into in a minute. But she has to take that opportunity to brag about making the hot breakfast, of course. So the whole thing on this episode is twofold. They spent a long time doing this craft, which I'll show you. And they spent a long time going over Meghan's nostalgia. They danced around it quite a bit. I think they finally ended up saying it was from McDonald's, but you got the idea that she loved the McDonald's apple pies. Now, she used this as an opportunity. I got to be honest with you, by the way. I'm going to admit something really weird because, believe me, I've eaten my share of junk food. Again, see Goose Adventures for details. I could tell you some stories about eating junk food, but I've never had one of those pies, I don't think. I don't think I ever have. I'm not a huge apple pie person. They're okay, but it's just not something I would ever think to order. Is that still a thing at McDonald's? I don't even know. I'll have to try one sometime if it is. But are they good? Let me know. They just kept calling them apple hand pies. So I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. You hold it in your hand. Okay, sure. But, and then I got the gist that she was talking about McDonald's, but they didn't want to say McDonald's. Fair enough. But a big part of the episode was this craft, and then a big part was making these hand pies, recreating, it sounds like, the McDonald's recipe is the way I'm understanding it. So there's that. The episode itself wasn't super interesting, but again, Tan was very likable, very friendly. Now, I have seen Tan on other shows. I used to watch the old Queer Eye. I don't think I've watched. I think I maybe saw an episode of the new Queer Eye, but I really haven't watched that. But I've maybe heard him on podcasts before. I'm trying to think. I really like, there's a cooking podcast that I love called Off Menu. It's about your dream restaurant and food and stuff like that. So I may have seen him or heard him on that. I can't even remember now where I heard him, but I enjoyed him on the podcast that I heard him on. I remember liking his personality, and sure enough. And what's funny is this is the first time I've gone back to see critical reviews because I was curious. Actually, that's not true. I did on the Chrissy Teigen one as well. But on this one, I did just to see if I was crazy. And the reviews I found said the same. They actually found this was the most tolerable episode and that it was made better by Tan. So that's kind of funny. But don't worry, Meghan still tries to drag it down. And highlights of the episode were they were making crafts. They made hand pies. They made crafts for their kids. Tan has 2 little kids. Meghan talks about her too. You can decide on that. And it was kind of a weird moment. I want to talk about that. When they started talking about the kids, there was a weird moment there where Meghan really put this strange emphasis on Archie. And I suspect that is a clapback. I just have this feeling because a lot of people call out, well, she seems to favor Lily because, I don't know, she takes a lot of pictures with Lily, the way she speaks about Lily. She seems to really favor Lily. But then in this episode, it was, oh, Archie, and it was just kind of odd. And then also she told a story I had not heard before. Maybe you have. I just feel like sometimes these stories pop out and you're like, what are you saying? She says that when she was a child, because they were talking back and forth about their family and, how he and his husband met. And we'll get into the Harry and Meghan, but he asked her, did you always want to be a mom? And she said, yes. She said that when she was little, she saved up her money and bought a real diaper bag for her baby dolls. I don't know. I find that kind of weird. Is that a thing? I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit almost of an overcompensation. If one's parenting skills are being called into question or even, how often are you with those kids? That kind of thing. It almost feels like an overcompensation. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just kind of felt like that to me. A little bit of an overcompensation. Like, okay, Meghan, I'm sure. That was another thing that came up though, is they were talking about how hard it is to be a parent and then go away to work. And he was saying for his job. So I looked it up because they talk a lot about England. So I assume he lived there. It sounds like, from what I could tell from Google, he and his partner or husband and kids live in Utah, I believe it is, because they like the quieter life there. But then he travels a lot for work. So he'll come and go. And he made several mentions of England. But she said, oh, yeah, it's hard. The longest I've ever been away from my kids is 3 weeks. That was so hard for me. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that's true. But the way she said it is just like this one time for 3 weeks. It's like, I suspect that must happen quite a bit because I think about all the traveling we've seen them do solo. I don't know. I don't know their schedule. Maybe they're seeing him every couple of days, but that just adds up. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of time away. So I thought it was funny that she used this opportunity again to clap back and be like, I'm with him constantly. Okay, maybe you are. I don't know. It doesn't appear that way. Where's Has, by the way? Like, where's he been? I just find it weird that he's just like disappearing a lot. It's just kind of strange. Let's get into a juicier part of the episode, and that is when they get into personal stories. Now, first of all, Meghan talks about making breakfast for the kids because she wants a medal because that's something that only she has ever done. She's the only woman to have children and to make breakfast for them. Nobody else is. Oh, wait, I do that. You guys do that. We all do that. It's part of being a parent. But she talks about hot breakfast most mornings for Archie and Lily and surprise pancakes. And I thought maybe they have silly faces on them. She has to take a step further and say, no, they have chia and flax seeds. And said that one of them, I think it was Archie, maybe it was Lily, I don't know. One of the kids called it freckles for the pancakes. Okay, sure. What is it with her and freckles? I know what it is. It's her about her and freckles, meaning she has a ton of freckles or she talks about them. And that was a whole thing. She didn't want them covered up for the wedding. I think she thinks they make her unique, which, by the way, hello. If you go out in the sun enough, a lot of people get them. I'm showing my shoulders get really freckly from walking and stuff. It happens. She said that her kids call them like pancake freckles or freckles for the pancakes. Who knows? And then again, I think about the wedding and the pancakes. And then did she write a book or she trademarked or she did something with a book when she was like 11 and it was face without freckles is a sky without stars, something like that. Who knows? So I just know freckles. She's tried to tie herself to freckles for a long time. Again, imagine that, the idea that Meghan would take something already in existence and try to make it her own. Where we see that? Oh yeah, every idea she has. It's like, I invented this brand new thing. Oh, you did? What'd you invent? It's this yogurt that has lots of protein and it's known, in like Greece and stuff. It's Greek yogurt. Okay, no, you didn't invent that. It's my thing. No. It's not. Anyway, that's just the kind of stuff you get with Meghan. She talks about, Tan is asking her about relationships. She's asking him about his. She avoided royal specifics, but she mentioned England and talked about the Indian food she had over there and the national dish. And then she talks about her third date with Harry. So she goes into this third date with Harry to Botswana. It was a 5-day camping trip, and that would have been August in 2016. And then in 2017, that's their engagement interview. They went back and told the story. So, I mean, it was fine. They were both sharing stories, but I just think it's rude to tie back to England because of the history there. I'm surprised that she did tie back to England. Going to Tan, I think the big glaring difference is you have somebody like that who is likable, who is warm, and it's just hard to put. It's hard to put him with somebody like that because, I mean, he's great. It did make her a little bit better, but she's still insufferable, still making a lot of stuff about herself. I think what the glaring difference there is his warmth versus her self-focus seemed to be what I noticed. So he was actually born in South Yorkshire. And the thing that I noticed is his charm continued to shine through. She made it more about herself. She kept tying back into those damn flour sprinkles. He actually had a funny line where they were making French toast because, again, it tied back to his husband's bread making, and she started putting flour sprinkles all over it and stuff. And he said, "What is that?" And she said, "Oh, it's flour sprinkles. I like beautiful things." And I just thought, oh my God, it's so childish. And he said something along the lines of, "Well, that's the gayest shit I've ever seen." That's what he says, as a homosexual man. He thought that was funny, and she started laughing, and I thought it was a pretty funny line, and I think it's a funny way to rib the flour sprinkles. If anybody could do it, he could. And again, she didn't seem to take it too harsh, but it was just kind of funny. I think, again, he has a genuine appeal about him, whereas she is much more self-centered. Again, even the love stories, you could tell the difference. He was telling a story of how he met his husband, like the first week his husband had gone on this dating site, and it was a big step and all this stuff. And then she's like, "Harry told me he loved me first. I still got it." That's a thing she said. It's just a big difference in personalities. It definitely harkened back to the staged authenticity of it all. I didn't feel like anything was real or deep with her. It's all about, look at me, and, just her being her. The craft project, I'm doing this. The craft project was done with aprons, and the big notable thing there is they did stampers with, it was mostly like potato stamps, but they were using other vegetables as well. So, of course, we've all heard of that. But in case you haven't, I looked it up because I was curious how old this goes back. Well, they said this was popular in the 50s, but it actually goes back to even like Egyptian times and stuff. That was the way that they would print things. So you talk about taking an old idea, brushing it off, calling it yours. That's the vibe I got from this one. Again, no new ideas, nothing new. I just can't believe, I'm not shocked that Meghan has no new ideas. That's what we've come to expect from Meghan. I am shocked that Netflix doesn't say, potato stamps? Is that what we're doing that this episode? Okay. Why are we doing potato stamps? She goes out of her way to say she loves gadgets like the embosser. I'm doing it with my hand, where she would squeeze and show how she could emboss everything with her name on it. Of course, her favorite thing, her name. It probably has her dumb loopy swoopy handwriting all over it. But she likes to emboss things. So when you have stuff like that, then why not do that kind of thing? Why are we doing potato paintings for the kids? It's just weird. She took the opportunity to write loopy swoopy BS handwriting of each of the kids' names. I found that very contrived. It was just a way to show off, look at me, I've got a skill. I'm noticing what she likes to do is bring these people in that have talent and then make them do things that are outside of their talent area, so that way she becomes the expert. It's very odd. Again, I mean, think about, okay, it's like me having Nigella Lawson over, who is this incredible chef. And I'm like, okay, Nigella, mow my yard. She's like, what? You want me to do what? Mow my yard. Have fun. No, you don't take Nigella out to mow your yard. You're like, oh, please, what can you cook? Cook anything. I'll eat it. I don't care. I don't even like seafood, but I'll eat it if you cook it. Why would you waste somebody's talents like that? So I just find it very weird. And it's almost like a way for Meghan to get a one-up. That just seems to be a theme. I noticed it with the first episode as well, getting the two chefs out of the kitchen to do flower arrangement. And it's just like, okay, but why are we doing that? We're not really getting to know them. One of them was kind of side-eyeing her while he did it. And it's just about her being the boss of things. Just think this is Meghan's tricks once again. So, well, that's going to do it for me in the episode. I'm dying to know your thoughts on all of this. Let's hit the bingo cards as we wrap up and see where we're at, because we did get a bingo in the last episode. Let's see if we got more of that card filled out. I suspect we will, because we did have some beige this episode. They did go to the beach at the end and she was in beige. I swear that looked like not that she would ever rewear anything, but that looked like the coat that she wore, the beige one where she was selling stickers in the parking lot. Oh, please let it be that coat, because that was the funniest thing ever. I'll never forget. Let's see, going across, my husband. She did say my husband this time, so we can pop that. High-waisted pants. I keep meaning to look for that. Her outfits have not been as bad this time. Have I seen high-waisted pants? She may have worn them this time. I'm not really sure. I'm going to leave that for now. Seal clap. I do not recall that this episode. Soap story. Nope, not yet. Incorrect cutlery. I tried to look for that, but honestly, no glaring differences there. I will say this. I do feel like they have gone back and edited the episodes this season to show more recipes. It's obvious when you listen to the episodes that voiceovers have been added in by Meghan. And I noticed a lot of times, because you can hear the difference. And a lot of times it seems to be ingredients. So I almost feel like that was such a point of contention last go around. People were like, these aren't recipes. This time around, they add QR codes and more voiceovers from her saying, okay, add 3 cups onions, whatever it is. And so I feel like they have tried to step that up a little bit to fight some criticism there. So I wondered if they switched out some of the knives to beige. We did get beige this time. Let's see. I don't think they drank wine. They drank tea. Authentic. She may have said authentic. I don't know. Jumping up and down. I don't think she did that this episode. Royal reference. I'm going to say yes, because she was talking about her time in England. She was talking about dating Harry. So I'm going to put that as a yes on that one. So if that's the case, we got another bingo. And that is our last column there. With the addition of beige, that gives us another bingo. Bingo. So yeah, we're close to filling the whole board. This is episode 3, so we're close to filling the whole board. Didn't take us very long, but we'll keep watching and seeing what happens. Now, I'm very aware of the other stuff going on. I'm aware of the guy picture supposedly gifted to her on social media. I want to look into that. And I'm also aware of the interview that's just taken place on, I believe it's on a YouTube channel. I've had a couple of my friends watching that and reporting and talking to me about it, and it sounds like a disaster. So I kind of want to look at that. I just haven't had a time with recapping these shows, but I will. Yeah, we'll see what else is going on. But thank you so much for watching. I'll keep going with this as well. We can do both. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. And I Truly hope you all had the best day. I want to say a huge thank you to, to all of you for your lovely, kind comments, for all your support. I appreciate it. Everybody who's wished me well in watching this stuff. I know, right? I need it. I need all the well wishes I can get. Did I say whale wishes? Well wishes I can get. I want to thank my Patreon members. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. It's my old name. Tons of new stuff. Lots of bonus content. Check that out if you're the least bit interested. A huge thank you to everybody who supports me over there. It really means the world to me. I'm a little bit off on posting right now over there. I'm going to do some bonus episodes around this disaster. So look for that very soon. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait to read your comments and check back lots because I'm not posting on a regular, I'm just posting a lot right now. So check back lots. And thank you guys so much. Have the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm here. What do you think? I think this is kind of fun. It's another one of these kind of shirts. I like these kind of shirts, but I thought it was fun. I like the pattern on this one. And look, it's got like this line of blue, which I thought was pretty cool. And this part like snaps behind my neck. It's just kind of cool. I like how it sits. I think it's a fun shirt. So a lot of people when I wear this say, oh, you're so fancy. I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm in running shorts. But thanks. Yeah, the top is cool. But yeah, I usually just wear a little trade secret. I wear running shorts or PJ shorts. So I'm in black running shorts right now. So, but that's just what I'm comfortable in. And you can't really see it anyway under there. So it's fine. But it is funny. People say, oh, you're so fancy. I'm like, from here up I am. And then as soon as I hit finish record, I go change. No, I just like to look nice for the records. I think it's kind of fun. But anyway, tell me what you're thinking about all this. Are you enjoying the recaps? Have you watched any of it yourself? Let me know. Have you been reading the reviews of it? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on all of it. I just noticed I might have Powerade above my lip. I've been going a long time today. I'm recording this Wednesday night. That's why my eyes are a little tired looking. So I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to bed. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you stuck with me this long, let's see. What should we comment? Let me know if you were familiar with Tan before. You can say Tan or what you knew him from or, whatever it is. Just say if you knew Tan or not. He seems like a nice guy. I've seen him on other programs or heard him maybe on podcasts. I remember liking his personality before. I just wish I could remember what I saw. I feel like I saw him on a show. I just can't think what. My brain's tired. Anyway, all right. He's much more likable than Meghan is. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.